Shalom. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Call Halon Yamlah Yahweh. Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Bahashim Racha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Okay? And this lesson is just in transit. Basically going into this life is about restricting ourselves, you know? And sometimes, you know, there are things that are implemented in society that men may feel are restrictive, you know what I'm saying, to where they restrict you from doing things that you can lawfully do in the scriptures, you know. But, you know, there's a narrative in the scriptures too, all right, that we have to come to terms with, okay, that we have to understand is required of us by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And that narrative is, okay, refraining ourselves from our lusts. And sometimes that can be easier said than done, okay? Sometimes it can be more of a struggle than for some brothers than others, okay? Because, you know, as we know, the scriptures say all things are lawful, but all things are not expedient unto me, all right? So, you know, there are certain things that we have to hold ourselves back from that this flesh would like to participate in, okay? But that doesn't mean that the participating in of those things will be pleasing to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Just because, you know, like the scripture said, all things are lawful unto me, okay? But I will not come under the power of any of those things, roughly paraphrasing, okay? Because some of these things can have more of a stronghold over a brother, where it could become an unlawful act. And what do I mean by that? Well, you can do something so much that it almost becomes like a god unto you. Okay? There's a such thing as loving to drink so much that it becomes like a worship. There's a such thing as loving, you know, the company of women so much that it becomes almost like a worship unto you, where, you know, you're constantly seeking this thing. You know, you're allowing other things of your life to become unfruitful because you're, you know, like I said, you're occupied in the acquisition or in the enjoyment of whatever this lawful thing may be, because it's not unlawful to enjoy the company of a woman. It's not unlawful to enjoy a drink. It's not unlawful to enjoy a hobby or whatever the case might be for you. You know, some people are addicted to different things, and people get enjoyment out of different things. That's why the scriptures say, the scriptures basically allude to that. You know, not all men, you know, enjoy all things, okay? And for lack of a better way of being able to word it, every soul findeth not pleasure in everything. I believe it says that, okay? Which I might be able to grab it. I'm sitting at this light. Let me see. I'm gonna Google it real quick. I think it says, take not pleasure. Boom. And we pulling off now. This looks like it's gonna be in the book of Ecclesiasticus or Sirach. Just give me a second, I'll pull it up. Now that I'm on the straight. Yep. It says, Ecclesiasticus 37:27 says, my son, prove thy soul in thy life, and see what is evil for it, and give not that unto it. All right? And there's more that I want to go into, but we can talk on that briefly. Okay, you got to seek, prove thy soul. Okay, what does it mean to prove? It means to try. It means to test. You know, you go through life and you experience different things, and you're supposed to make observations off of those experiences of real world observations. Don't lie to yourself. Okay? You can't lie to yourself about what it is your shortcomings are, what it is you're weak to. Okay? Don't do that. All right? Let's go back to it, right? That's where it goes into proving thy soul. See if I still got it open. Yeah. And it says, my son, prove thy soul and thy life, and see what is evil for it, and give not that unto it. Right? Because, that's going to be different for each brother, as it goes on to say. It says, verse 28, for all things are not profitable for all men, neither have every soul pleasure in everything. So it's going to differ from brother to brother of the thing that is evil for your soul. Okay? A brother may not be able to relate to you if you, now the scriptures also say, let me balance it out. The scriptures also say that there is no temptation taking you, but such that is common to man. Okay, so it doesn't mean that a brother may not have the same desire, but a brother may not be as weak to something as you may be. Okay, a brother might have mastery over his desire for women, and you may not, or another brother may not. A brother may have a mastery over his desire for alcohol. He may not drink alcohol, but then another brother may have a weakness to that. Okay, to where he allows it to affect his life. So, these are just two examples, because these are strong examples. The scriptures go into it in the book of Ecclesiastes, if I'm not mistaken. It talks about wine and women and the king and who's the strongest, which the truth is the strongest. What does it say? Wine, then it goes into women. There's another one too. Okay, another thing that says it's strong. Or it says not the king strong. It goes to the king and it says wine and women. Which from a carnal aspect, all these things are strong, But, okay, the strongest is the truth. So nevertheless, I want to grab that. Hold on, let me bring this out. Oh, yeah. Next one, 37 and 29. Ecclesiastes 37:29. Be not unsatiable in any dainty thing, nor greedy upon meats. So that's another thing. Food. Certain foods can be too much, too irresistible. You got that song, Simply Irresistible. Sometimes it's like that. You got some brothers who, just really enjoy eating certain food. Food can be good. You have some people that compare. Some people compare food to sex. Some people, you definitely have that. So you have to, consider these different things, because that's not going to be the same way for everybody. But Yahweh Shem Yahushua is calling us to restraint. Okay, and there's even scriptures on that. Okay, let me see. I just want to see how I think I just got a straight shot all the way out. Yeah, I'm going like 4 miles out. Then I'll be straight. So I'll just keep getting these precepts, right? It says right. Salakia. Alright. I don't know how good this is working. It look alright. Okay. Luke 9 and 23. Okay, it says, and I'll just leave it in the Google search. It says, and he said to them all, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. Okay, so we got to deny ourselves. Okay, in Matthew 16:23 through 25 basically speaks about the same thing as I'm seeing here, based off of the results from me Googling it. All right, which I ain't opened the whole thing, but, so this is something that Yahweh Shem Yahushua requires of us, and that the Lord, will eventually get to a point where he's not happy, okay, with the continuation of, this is why the scriptures talk about using our liberty as a cloak of maliciousness. The scriptures talk about, offending less, because, there are things that can be lawful that you can be offending in. And some of it could be a hard saying, if I were to even speak about it, brothers might be rationalizing things in their minds and just saying, oh yeah, it's not a big deal. But, just because there's mercy, okay, concerning adultery, does that mean that we should continue to just keep jumping around committing adultery? I'll let every brother be their own judge of what they think, you know what I'm saying, of what they think about that. Because yes, there's mercy. We're called a nation of adulterers. All right, so of course, no, most of the women you get with ain't gonna be, virgins, especially not in this society. But how many times are you gonna continue to pop a woman, you know what I'm saying, and then just like you get with her, you play the role, you get with her, you pop her, then you leave. Then you get another one, you do the same thing. How many times are you going to continue to commit that adultery? Because she at one time had a husband. She at one time had a man who took her virginity, who she was supposed to stay with, and she didn't stay with that man. And so now it's just adding on to the adultery over and over. And like I said, yeah, of course there's mercy, but how are we to know that the Lord will continue to allow us to do that and there not be consequences? You know what I'm saying? We don't know that. We don't know what the limit is for that. So should we be minded of we're going to just go out there and pop as many women as we can and just keep piling up the adultery? Like I said, everybody's got to be the judge for their own situation, and that may be something hard for brothers to even listen to. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not coming up with no new doctrine. I'm just pointing it out there. You know what I'm saying? That technically it's adultery, and technically we got to continue to get grace and grace and grace every time it happens. So how much are we going to do it? You know what I mean? But that's not to say that, as a man that, hey, look, I'm a man too. I get it. I get it. This is not to say I'm not up here trying to be, I'm just considering when I do these lessons, I'm talking to myself first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? As far as understanding what the Lord requires of me, and just sharing it with brothers, of things to consider. This walk is about, as a matter of fact, Paul mentioned it and spoke about it perfectly. He said, he that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Okay? In all things. So if these people of the world can do it for a corruptible crown, how much more for this incorruptible that we're seeking? And like I said, sometimes it's easier said than done. Okay? And it can be a struggle depending on every brother's spirit, depending on everybody's mastery over the flesh. Okay? Some people is no sweat. Some people is like, that's hard to deal with, and it might get offended of me even mentioning that. Okay? But hey, this all depends. But it's just something that I want to go into is the level of self-control that Yahweh Shai wants us to have. It's definitely, men definitely had more self-control in the ancient world, I perceive, than they have now. And it's harder. It's harder to have self-control for most men. It's in this time because, sex is used as a weapon. Everything is used to attack your senses. And you have so much debauchery that's put in your face, and it's meant to make you into a carnal beast. It's really meant to make your dopamine and make your brain fire on all cylinders. All right, in order to it's intended to make your brain fire on all cylinders. Okay, in regards to living out your every desire. Nike, just do it. Obey your thirst. Hungry, why wait? And then sexual instant gratification is pushed here on every level. Okay, sexual instant gratification. I just want you already know how these rap songs go, man. Where men get on here and they talk about all they want from a woman. What's that one song? I don't know her whole name. All we eat is low main. Keep it on the low main. Whatever that nigga was saying. Like, this is the idea that's being pushed. I don't know this girl's name. I just give her some Chinese food and I fuck her and then we out. I'm done. And that's like a beast mentality. wild dogs are out in the streets, okay, a lot of times what you'll see is, a wild dog can meet up with another wild dog and pop it and then be on about their business. And then that, the female dog ends up pregnant with a litter of puppies. And, you don't necessarily see, you see it in wolves, but like in stray dogs, where they just form this mismatched little pack in the streets, you don't really see a continuation of pair bonding or whatever you want to call it. All right, but then you see it in like different in the lions. You kind of see where they'll stick together. You know what I'm saying? He'll have a lot of females in that pride or whatever the case might be. But still, the point I'm making is, it's like that wild dog with the pink thing coming out. Okay, it's popping everything, everything in heat. Because that's how it is. That's typically how it is. A dog smells a female in heat and he goes crazy because he wants to procreate with her. And it can be any woman, any female in heat. The dog goes mad, goes crazy. Get the smell of that menstrual secretion, that blood. All right, to be straight up about it. That blood sends them crazy. All right. So we want to try to be better than that. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord expects us to be held at a higher standard than that. All right. And I got this new holder for the phone, so I don't know exactly how it might be moving around. I don't know. Nevertheless, I'm pulling up to my destination. I just want to do that quick in transit. All right. Definitely looks like it moved. To do that quick in transit. And Lord willing, you were edified. Just some mindset things I want to go into concerning what the Lord wants from us, and understanding, that it ain't just the reason that the world is oppressive unto those desires that you might have ain't just because they just hate men, which they do, but there's also a reason, because the Lord wants us to be in the mind frame of holding ourselves back from our desires. And it's just something to work on. A lot of brothers can end up in bad situations off of their desires, man, because don't underestimate the power, okay, of your desire to... I'll get one more, actually. I'll get one more scripture. Seems like the color fixed itself. Ecclesiasticus 18:31. It says, if thou givest thy soul the desires that please her, she will make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies that malign thee. Look at that. So if we were going all around executing our every desire not even our every desire, a lot of the desires that please us, if we went around executing them, especially in this society, we will be made a laughing stock, man. It's impossible, for us to we can't live according to the every desire of our flesh, man, because it just won't have a good outcome. So I'm gonna end it there. Lord willing, you're edified. Till the next time, I want to say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Elohim La Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Love and honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, salutations to the hopefully elect. With that, I want to say Shalom, Wabba Babal, Shalom.